I think information is facts and statistics in the sense that it's always correct and that it should be relayed in a very formalized way.
Information is taking meaning out of data instead of having a bunch of random numbers everywhere. So, for example, data can be a whole slew of different IQ numbers, and then we can use information to organize that data. Say we use variables like the IQs of people with glasses and the IQs of people without glasses, and we can determine whether or not there's a significant difference between these IQs. Now we've interpreted this data and we've given meaning to it, and that's information. Now we can make decisions based on the data and hopefully gain knowledge from that information.
Coming into this class, I was also confused as to what information actually meant. It felt like such an abstract idea to me that was very hard to conceptualize, and I didn't understand how there was going to be a whole entire class on it. However, after a good semester in the SI 110 class, I realized that information exists everywhere and is very prevalent to our lives. And therefore, I would like to make this video talking about what exactly information is, how we perceive information, and also talk about the history of information. The definition of information that I believe best represents the concept model in this course is the definition given by James Gleick's book, The Information: A History, a Theory, a Flood. He defines information as what our world runs on, the blood and the fuel, the vital principle. In order to further help understand and conceptualize the topic of information, I would like to go through a brief history of the study of information theory. Claude Shannon was an American mathematician and engineer who is more famously known for being the father of information theory. He is accredited with the conception of information theory through the publication of his 1948 article, A Mathematical Theory of Communication. In this revolutionary article, he discusses the concept of communication, specifically through a model which he conceived with American scientist Warren Weaver titled the Shannon-Weaver Model of Communication. Looking at this model, we can see that the path starts with an information source first. If you are trying to convey a message to someone, you are the information source as you are sending this information. The transmitter is then used to convey this information. Your body conveys your thoughts into verbal words. You create a signal or verbal words in this example that is sent through a channel in order to be transmitted across to the receiver. The receiver then has to transform that signal and conveys this message to the destination. In this example, the receiver's ears decode this verbal message so that they can understand it and provide necessary feedback. Another feature we see in the middle is noise. These are essentially disturbances that prevent the message from being appropriately received. Loud noise in a crowded room can be an example of noise when trying to convey a message to someone. Within this article, he introduces a new unit that is used to measure and quantify information. Just like how we can measure the amount of ounces of liquid we have or weigh the masses of objects, we can measure information in a unit called a byte. Methods of communication such as phone calls, texts, emails, voicemails, etc. are all information that is transmitted as byte units. One large way to receive information is through sense perception. Sense perception allows us to obtain signals that can then be converted to information. According to the article introducing the perception process on boundless.com, we selectively choose to focus our attention on certain things. We do not perceive all the stimuli that we encounter, because if we did, we would be having information overload. The stimuli that we do pay attention to can be turned into signals that are then processed as information that will be useful to us. The things we touch, the places we see, and the sounds we hear are all examples of signals that can then be converted into information that will be useful for us. So to conclude, I would just like to leave everyone off with a few key takeaways. First off, information is not data. Data can be categorized as statistics, facts, numbers, values, and they are data because they don't really mean anything unless this data becomes information when you add a significance to it and when it becomes meaningful to a question that you're trying to answer or to yourself. Second, information is transmitted across objects, following something similar to the Shannon-Weaver model of communication. Essentially, the signals are passed across a channel from a sender to a receiver. Third, information can be quantifiable, as we saw with Shannon's definition of a byte. And finally, sense perception helps us receive information, so our different senses encounter stimuli in the environment daily, and we selectively choose which stimuli to essentially consume and convert to information that will be useful for us. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about information today, and have a nice day.